Finance Committee, Commissioner Andrus. Did I skip that?
Time in a row.
Did I do that before?
That's okay.
See, what happens is I check it off, and then I checked off the too fast. Sorry about that, Deb. Parks and Recreation Committee, Commissioner Zimmerman.
Okay, so we've got our Get Fit classes. Registration's open for the spring sessions of the classes starting in April. Some have already started or will be starting this weekend. Zumba is Sunday, starting on the 16th, 9 to 10. Remix, starting on the 17th, on Monday, 7 to 8. Pound, starting on Tuesday, from 6:30 to 7:30. And yoga will start tomorrow, from 7 to 7:45. All classes are held in the Township Administration Building, Community Room. Class fees vary depending on session length, so visit the website for more details and information. Also next week, we're going to have a Medicare seminar. Ready, Set, Medicare welcomes Del Val Senior Advisor Steve Perlman to discuss information that will help you make informed decisions about your health care. Again, next Thursday, the 20th, from 6:30 to 8, here in the Administration Building. Register, but it's free. Some of our events coming up, like Commissioner Lees mentioned, we've got Earth Day on Saturday, the 15th, from 8 to 12. We'll be having a recycling event. 2 collection sites are available: the Public Works Complex on Unionville Pike for yard waste, tree branches, tires, but no rims, small appliances, and shredding. And Clean Earth on Sandstone Drive will collect household hazardous waste, oils, and electronics and batteries. So if you're looking to get involved and help the community, sign up to be a part of the Earth Day cleanup within the township. And it'll be at like 3 different sites: School Road Park, the Nature Center, and then on Sunday, we're having the scavenger hunt and a 5K race, the first race of our 5K series, in coordination with Earth Day, the celebration. So grab your friends and family and join us for the 5K through the township. Run for time or participate in the scavenger hunt along the course for a chance to win a prize. All runners will receive a finisher medal, a race-themed prize, and post-race activities. Details and registration available at www.runtheday.com. And again, that's on Sunday, starts at School Road Park at 9 a.m. And then a save the date for an upcoming event in May, which will be a small pop-up event at School Road Park, Friday, May the 12th, and that'll be coordinating a little bit of the activities having to do with Mother's Day. So keep an eye out for details on the Hatfield Facebook page and the website.
All right, we're going to jump then to Finance Committee, Commissioner Andrus.
Good evening. Warm weather is definitely upon us. Feels like pool season, and we're not the only ones feeling that way. As of today, over 800 individuals have purchased season passes for the Hatfield Aquatic Center for a total of $100,000. That's great news. We're ahead of last year by roughly 20%. There is no discount period this year because of rising costs of materials and wages. Township's not in a position to offer early bird discounts as it has in the past. Thankfully, the lack of discounts hasn't slowed the registration process down, which is fantastic. To register, you want to visit www.hatfield.org. There's a link at the top of the homepage.
All right, we're going to jump into our action items. The first one is a motion to award the bid to Clark's Landscaping for the Bishop Baseball Field at School Road Park, part of that renovation. So is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Rogers, second by Commissioner Lees. Just for clarity's sake, the motion is to award the bid to Clark's Landscaping for $50,878. So there's a motion and a second. And Aaron, I'm not sure if you or Scott has this.
I'll take this one, Mr. President. Just to give everybody a reference point, we refer this as Bishop Field. Good question, Tina. It goes back many years, I'm sure, but I inherited that name. I'm sure other people have different names for it, but it's the field in the back of School Road Park, just to give everybody a reference point, right at the entrance, the back entrance there. This was a baseball field for years. There was drainage issues, and then it became overgrown, and it was no longer playable several years ago. Commitment, and we have a partnership with our Little League organization, and we are going to share in the cost of this expense. And this organization also maintains the fields entirely throughout the year, and they have been doing that for a long time. I know part of that parent group years ago when your kids were playing. But this will reestablish this as a field. They'll bring an infield mix, and it'll be playable. So Little League organization will have now back to 2 fields that they'll be playing on, and the softball field is in the front. So it's really just getting the park back to where it should be, and we board authorized these bids a few months ago when we authorized the road program bids, results, and here we are. And once if the board approves this, Clark's hopefully will get out there relatively soon and make the field playable for this season. That's the goal.
All right. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Okay, we have 4 motions of conditional offers of employment related to, from the Hatfield Township Civil Service Commission. I'll take them in order. The first one is a motion to provide a conditional offer of employment to Michael Callis as a patrolman based on the eligibility list certified by the Hatfield Township Civil Service Commission, conditioned upon successful completion of a psychological and physical examination. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lees, second by Commissioner Andrus. Any questions, comments? Chief, I don't even know if somebody want to mention kind of the process briefly of how we got here and why we have 4 conditional offers of employment this evening.
Still alive, but not with the police department, obviously. So we started the process several months ago. The civil service and the board approved the testing process. We went through that. We did the consortium test for the county. Went through all that. The people who survived that written test then proceeded on to the physical agility test, and then we weeded down with the people who we'd like to. Kind of breaks it down in short order, but it took months to get there.
Right. No, it's a very detailed process. It's very time-consuming. Before I was a commissioner, I was a part of it. I appreciate not just what your department does, but also the Civil Service Commission and their involvement, so we appreciate that and thank those members. And so any other questions or comments as it relates to the conditional offer of employment that's being on the table right now? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Okay, we have 3 more just like it, and for best practice, I shouldn't lump them together, so I will walk them through individually. So the next is a motion to provide a conditional offer of employment to Matthew Barnett as a patrolman based on the eligibility list certified by the Hatfield Township Civil Service Commission, conditioned upon successful completion of a psychological and physical examination. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Rogers, second by Commissioner Zimmerman. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Third, is there a motion to provide a conditional offer of employment to Matthew De Laurentiis as a patrolman based on the eligibility list certified by the Hatfield Township Civil Service Commission, conditioned upon successful completion of a psychological and physical examination?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lees. Second by Commissioner Andrus. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Our last one. Is there a motion to provide a conditional offer of employment to Nicholas Wallen as a patrolman based on the eligibility list certified by the Hatfield Township Civil Service Commission, conditioned upon successful completion of a psychological and physical examination? By Vice President Rogers.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zimmerman. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call a question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. And I can say congratulations to all 4 of them, and congratulations, Chief, to you, and all those who were involved in the entire process. And then I guess that means we get to have some swearing-in ceremonies in our future.
COVID and everything, I'm not sure where we begin, but yeah, we have a few things to catch up on.
Sounds good. Well, we're happy to have them when we organize it. So, all right. So those are the action items 2 through 5. There's only 2 other matters left, which is action item number 6, which is a motion to approve Whitestone proposal for $14,875 with regard to the geotechnical investigation and SWM area evaluation police station project. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus.
Second.
Second by Vice President Rogers. Aaron, you probably want to tell us a little bit about this. I'm interested if anybody knows what SWM area is, but Oh, the stormwater management. I thought it was something more much more
Exciting,
technical than
not
that.
exciting.
I was excited thinking there was some technical.
Turned into an acronym, it seems more exciting, but it really isn't. Commissioners, you're going to see a lot of items come your way soon regarding the design and obviously construction of the police station. But the first expense beyond the architect and the design professionals that we've secured, this is simply to just test the soil on the site of the police station to see exactly, it's for the engineers and determine a lot of the site work that will be needed on. Our construction management team from Boyle Construction received 3 quotes, and this is the low bidder. Anything over $10,000 and under 20 needs to have 3 quotes, and we have the board publicly approve those as a housekeeping item. But there will be more items similar to this coming our way as we proceed through the process. And of course, we'll have relatively soon more public presentations of the design and throughout the process, hopefully in the next few months. But we meet weekly, and a lot that goes into a project progress, and more will become rolling out publicly when it's ready.
Okay. All right. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Last on our action item list is the vacating Old Orvilla Road right-of-way. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lee, second by Vice President Rogers. Aaron, I think you might have this one as well.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. President. Since you haven't heard Cowpath and Orvilla in quite some time, I would maybe bring it back up, bring it back to your attention. But this may be the last item to close out that project, and it's a simple housekeeping item, but I will show you exactly what it means. All of you recall how Orvilla was designed, and then how it was realigned to make a safer and more efficient intersection. There are parts of what we're calling Old Orvilla that the township will be vacating and giving to the adjacent property owners. There are 3 different sections, and it's by agreement. So if the board approves the agreement tonight, then all of the residents who are already well aware of this, we've been talking and working with these residents now for 5, 6, 7 years. This is just one of the last items to be completed. So this item here close to, or this piece of property close to Cowpath, the new, or I can't say new, Old Orvilla, in the way it's built now, it stops here. We've seen Costco may do there, but this is the end of what the public property will be right here. This area will be vacated by the town, and half of it will be owned by Tosco, half by the neighbors on this section. Or 2 other sections that apply to this as well. The Old Orvilla right-of-way closer to Lee's Way. And those of you who've driven through the intersection, it makes more sense when you're out there, but there was a significant portion here that will be vacated and then given to this resident who has already planted about 40 arborvitaes. And it's because we have worked together for years. This is just the last legal piece of it to clean up all of the right-of-way. The other section is actually the one that I was just referring to, where Old Orvilla comes out to New Orvilla. This section here, which was part of the old right-of-way, will now be vacated and onto the adjacent property owner. Motion will allow us to move forward with this legal paperwork, be county's record, and the property will then be owned by the adjacent property owners.
Okay. And that's the last item for that big project.
Let's hope. Probably not, though.
Across the street.
Well, yeah, there may be one or 2 more. But
Well, the last for the moment.
that's for tonight.
For tonight. All right, unless there's any questions or comments, I will call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Before we get into the township staff meeting reports, manager's report, I need to announce that the board met in executive session before tonight's meeting to discuss litigation. All right, with that, I will hand the ball over to our township manager for his report.
Right, thanks, Mr. President. I know you said it may be a quick meeting tonight, but I'll see what I can do to maybe change that here. But just a few updates I think the community will be interested in. about, and some required and some others just more informational in nature. Liberty Bell Trail project that we've talked about publicly for several years now, and as you remember, we had a grant with all of our neighboring municipalities. There were 5 of us in total that received funding to create a feasibility plan. And since then, we've had a lot of success in seeking funding to actually build the trail. We've received $900,000 from the federal government to build this portion, and we are required as part of the grant to speak about it at a public meeting, to have it available at our website and other public components. This is just outlining exactly what is happening and what it may look like. So the portion that will be built, hopefully at some point in 2024, is behind the giant shopping center, along the rail lines then that would lead into Hatfield Borough and make that important connection. So it's roughly 1,500 feet. We've talked about it publicly a few other times. This is our considered a more formal presentation. So believe it or not, $1 million to build a trail 1,500 feet. There is a portion of it that will not be built at this point. We are working with a property owner that will be coming through with a land development, and we're working out exactly how we'll make that connection, but that will be something that we will work out over the next few months. So you see the time frame there, and we're still going through some of the engineering and design, and we hope to go to construction in 24. But I've probably said things at these meetings and haven't met the time frame because there are many moving parts to all of these projects, but we will certainly do our best to meet that. So along those lines, some recent grant awards that I'm excited to announce, and we've talked about this in some of our social media platforms, but we haven't had the opportunity at a public meeting. Township was recently awarded by DCD, which is the Department of Community and Economic Development, $200,000, which was a joint application that the commissioners approved a year ago with Hatfield Borough. We did receive full funding that was requested, $200,000 to perform a township and borough-wide stormwater study. And I know Vice President Rogers actually brought this up probably 2 years ago. That was something that we should pursue, and so we sought the funding and were approved for it. So now we'll begin a process over the next few months. These things, as all the commissioners know by now, they take time. We're still waiting on our grant agreement from the state, but we'll go through a very public process. The goal of this study is at the end then produce a plan that has 10 to 15 capital projects that we can pursue that stormwater better in our township. So that's our outcome for this, and then we can use that plan to pursue money for construction to build or to. An exciting opportunity. It's going to take some time, but hopefully it will pay off significantly for the town. Our other grant that we received through the same program was $150,000, and I have to thank Senator Collette and Representative Malagari for supporting us on all three of these applications. Without their support, we would not be able to get this funding. Design for the police station will be significantly higher than $150,000, but it's nice to have the $150,000 to offset some of those costs. So we did receive that. Our third grant that we received recently, we had a busy few weeks, was $100,000 to plan then the next phase of the Liberty Bell Trail that will then connect to Lansdale. So what that will look like, this portion of the trail. So we're building this stretch behind Giant like we just talked about. Now this 100 grand will help us then plan what we believe the feasibility plan showed us that Schwab Road would be the likely connection off of Orvilla, which would take us right into Wedgwood Park here in Lansdale Borough, which Lansdale will be making action at the same time for the Liberty Bell Trail. So for the first time since this Liberty Bell Trail has been discussed, which was 50 years ago, we'll have once this is built, we'll have an actual trail that connects Lansdale to Hatfield Borough, and then Souderton and Franconia. It should be a nice connection. And this connection, the other one that I mentioned, and then it connects into the current trail system in Hatfield, which gets you the Aquatic Center and Fricks Trail and School Road Park. It will be a really nice walkable, bikeable connection that is needed. So the 100 grand. The feasibility study that we went through identified this as the logical connection. This 100 grand takes it to the next step, which will actually provide the engineering for it, the right-of-way that's necessary for it. There's a few culverts that will be needed, some tricky crossings, a lot of resident coordination and business coordination. A lot of work that goes into it, a lot of time, but we have now funding to pursue that section. So as we're building the other one, we'll be planning this one and then hopefully roll into a grant to have a really significant connection. All right, those are the Liberty Bell Trail updates and the grant announcement. One other thing I just wanted to highlight tonight and promote is our most recent newsletter that hit mailboxes a few weeks ago. Hopefully everyone had received that at their house and well received. We've made a real effort over the last several years to make our newsletter a better publication, a more informative one, more professional, one that people would not just throw away. Did you guys throw it? Andrew threw it. I think he told me back there, but was that? Thank you. Thank you. At least he read it first. Okay. So just wanted to highlight and give some credit to some people that worked really hard on it. We do hire a consultant, Tracy from Illustrated Design, to help us, and we have an employee, a lot of time into this and did a really good job. We had a feature on our new assistant township manager. If you go to our website to look at the newsletter and you hover over these pictures, it actually takes you to a link to the videos of the interviews, which is pretty neat.
Oh.
I'm going to show you one tonight. We definitely have made this better. We had a nice feature on Garden of Health, our nonprofit partner, who's, if you drive by Clemens Park now, you'll see, and I'm sure our friends in the back from Hatfield Fire have seen the fences going up, as well as some stakes. The mushroom soil that we thought was mulch, right, Deb, is being spread. They're getting ready, and we're going to get out there with a volunteer group from the township with the commissioners to help spread some dirt and plant some vegetables. Feature on our buddy Dr. Harris, who's our 101-year-old resident, who for the last 2 years, and thanks to the fire companies who participated, 3 years now that we celebrate 99 and 100, right? And then 101, we decided to feature Dr. Harris in the letter. He's an amazing guy, and we've got the impressive, and he most likely will outlive me. But I want to show you. So when you go on the website and you hover over this video, this picture, it'll bring you to a video, which I'd like to play if everybody doesn't mind 2 minutes of their life. I think you'll find it pretty interesting. I thought Jay and Tracy did a really nice job. I'm hoping the town.
And probably deceased.
Yeah.
And here's this was.
Running out of the IT room. Here we go. Let's see.
You know, I have a lot of awards, everything.
Maybe we want to talk about some of those.
I have nowhere to put them.
Nowhere to put them all?
Well, no, cause so that I just. So that's all I wanted to put.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
So this is your mom.
Huh?
This is your mom, huh?
Yes, that's my mother.
How about that?
She was 16 years old when I was born.
Oh,
No
wow.
kidding.
And that's my mother. I mean, my grandmother.
Grandmother.
And that's my brother, my sister, my brother, and myself. People here next to me. This is one of my neighbors they just had moved here, and they came on my 97th birthday.
Aww.
And they brought this back, and I when I went out, there were about 12 or 13 of his neighbors. He got them to come wish me happy birthday.
Aww.
That's awesome.
That's sweet.
Now he had thought that after the because I appreciated that I'd turn this up. He was here yesterday in this house, and I showed him this. He thought I had torn this up.
Aww.
Now, what he did, we went over to the house. He saw all of the awards that I said, I don't know where to put these things, but I just appreciate people give them the awards.
Yep.
And I say, this is more important than any others. So I said, well, what you do, what you have done is important to me.
It's
I said,
kindness.
you've done something that was important to me, and you didn't even know something that's good, something that's decent, something that's thoughtful
Kind.
and kind.
Yep.
And we all, and if you don't do something, you wouldn't know that.
Right.
Yep. That's what makes the world go round.
It does. It does.
Very nice.
You did a great job. So we're going to add more video features to our newsletters. Scott, if you want to click on that at the website, I won't embarrass him
I'll
tonight.
pass on that one.
Riveting interview, not quite as riveting as Dr. Harris. But Dr. Harris, World War II veteran, Purple Heart recipient, PhD, poet, professor, just an incredible human being. Yeah. Time you see him, all he does is talk about how great Hatfield is. I mean,
Our ambassador.
he is. So,
Make him officially and make the official ambassador's position.
good. Wanted to share that. Hopefully the residents enjoyed it, and can promise each edition will continue to get better. So, commissioners, thank you for your support and all throughout the process and helping us come up with content. And all of the commissioners have been very supportive of the newsletter and effectiveness of it. So we appreciate that. I have tonight, commissioners.
Great job. Scott, I don't think that we're going to make too many public comments when we watch your videos, but you should be prepared in case we change our mind on that. That might be a wise decision. All right, Mr. Solicitor.
Just one matter tonight, housekeeping. Back in 2021.
All right, so we have a motion to sign the participation forms of the opioid settlement as described. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lees. Second by Commissioner Andrus. Any questions or comments?
Commissioners, the only comment I'd like to make is the reason it's not on the agenda is that we received this, had to sign it by the 15th. So one meeting before the 15th, we asked John to look into it and bring it to your attention.
No.
The only reason it was not on the agenda.
Yeah, thank you for turning that around so quickly. It's an important participation for sure. All right, with that, I'll call the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Mr. Solicitor, anything else?
Nothing else.
Okay, citizens' comments. Comments, okay. Mr. Solicitor, do we have, we had the first one, yep. So then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lees, second by Commissioner Andrus. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of adjournment say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thanks for coming out, folks.